Apple iPad 9th Gen. The safest iPad bet makes more sense than ever. It's not exciting, but the basic iPad is versatile. All of Apple's new iPads have relatively fresh designs, except for the basic iPad. While the new iPad mini just got a total makeover, the 9th General Non-Pro, Non-Mini, Non-Air iPad still has that big old circular home button. And it still has big bezels around the screen. There's no USB-C. No Magic Keyboard or newer pencil support, but I'm okay with that. And you might be, too. I'm making this video on the new 9th General iPad. I'm able to do this because the iPad allows connections to keyboard cases, like the Apple Smart Keyboard cover I'm using to write this. It's not as good as the Magic Keyboard for iPad Pro and Air, but it's good enough and costs less, and good enough is exactly what the 9th General iPad is. In fact, compared with all other iPads right now, it covers all the bases best. Let me explain. iPads are secondary devices for most people, maybe even tertiary devices. After phones and laptops, of course, but they're also pretty essential and useful for a lot of people. Families, kids, that's why budget factors heavily into iPad purchases. In that regard, the basic iPad, still called iPad, on the box, should be your default pick. That's how I felt last year, see my 8th General iPad review. And it's how I feel now, too. It's inexpensive but versatile. This iPad works with the Apple Pencil for sketching, although it's the first General Pencil, and with keyboard cases, although not the Magic Keyboard. And has a big enough screen to feel laptop-like, unlike the Mini. Which is lovely but expensive, and for me, too small, and there's more storage, which helps. The lowest priced iPad has always been a trickle-down device, gradually getting upgrades other iPads got years ago. The same is true here. A new A13 processor, a zooming-in center stage camera that the iPad Pro got this spring, and True Tone on the display for ambient color temperature adjustments. This iPad may get a redesign this year, but for now it's the safest iPad purchase. Design. The same. It looks exactly the same as last year. It has that old circle Touch ID button. It still uses Lightning, not USB-C, and, you know what? It's fine. It works with last year's iPad case, and it's the last iPad on Earth that has a real headphone jack. And its starting price is the same, but Apple's bumped the storage up, finally, with 64 GB on the $329, £319, $499 version. You could survive with that, just about, and 256 GB on the $479 version, which I'd recommend without a doubt if you're planning to download any movies for travel, or any content-making apps. iPad Mini 2021 and 9th General iPad, compared. If you didn't have any big emotions about last year's iPad, this year's basic model won't wow. It would be nice to have less bezel, switch away from Lightning, and also, to have stereo speakers. Sound only comes out of one side of the iPad in landscape mode, like always, but the fancier iPads fix that. Answer. Deal with it or use headphones. Pencil support is fine, but that older Pencil has nowhere to go unless you buy a case that has a loop to hold it. Those do exist, like Logitech's keyboard folios. And the front-facing camera is still stuck on the side in landscape mode, which is how you'll have it set up for laptop-style use. Boring, but recommended. Seriously, the iPad Mini costs more, lacks the same keyboard support, and is probably too small. Last year's iPad Air is good but lacks center stage, but if it's on sale, it may be worth snapping up. And the iPad Pro is great but it's expensive. For 2021, I think the basic unexciting iPad wins out. Especially for the price, which usually hits $300 for holiday season sales. But other sales could change that metric fast. The iPad Air is better, and last year's 8th General iPad is perfectly fine still. Too, if that's on sale for a steep discount, it's worth considering. If you already have last year's iPad, there's no need to upgrade. But if you've been waiting a few years and need one soon for the kids or family, here's your choice. Thank you for watching this video. If you found this video helpful, please hit the subscribe button, press the bell icon and comment below.